Welcome to another episode of Market House, where we talk all things Disney. My name's Caleb. This week we're talking about discounted Disneyland tickets.
And we talk about the scariest Disneyland rides. Let's dive in.
All right, and this is episode number 149.
Welcome back as always, everybody.
Welcome back. It is spooky season.
It is.
It is upon us. This is our first Halloween episode of this year. We always have a little fun with it. Nothing really changes except for a little bit of music, and that's pretty much it.
No, we have some fun with it.
We have some fun with it. We'll try and integrate some fun topics for you guys this month as Halloween comes nearer.
Happy October.
Happy October.
It's October.
Let me tell you, though, I have been complaining every day for the past week. What is it? We're recording on October 6th. So you'll hear this on the 7th, so not too far removed, but it is blazing where we live. We live in Sacramento, if you don't know that, and it has been 100+ degrees for the past week.
Yeah.
In October, I think, if I read this correctly, it's the fourth time in recorded history that it's been 100+ degrees in October.
It's pretty
That's
toasty.
not right. That's not natural. It's not okay. I'm very upset about it, and I want to move really bad.
Yeah, and I was looking at Apple, like the little weather thing, and it said that it's normally 20 degrees cooler than it is today.
Yeah.
So
yes.
Again, we normally get high 80s. We don't get fall over here.
Yeah,
Our
high
fall,
80s is still kind of warm. I think right now we're supposed to be floating around low 80s to high 70s in October.
Really?
That is, yes, historically. Okay. And I think you've got recency bias or whatever.
Yeah.
Where the past 5 years it's been the high 80s. That's not normal.
Yeah.
When we were children and before then, it has been 70s and 80s in October, but it's just not proving to be so this year.
But we haven't really let that stop us because we've been doing all the fall things
we
in
have
the
been.
heat.
We've been sweating doing them, but
Yes.
we've been doing them. So we went to, like we mentioned last week, we told you we were going to Apple Hill, which is a local thing that people do around this area. We go up and there's a bunch of apple orchards and pumpkin patches and all that stuff up in the foothills. And again, thought it was going to be cooler up there. It was the same temperature as Sacramento. It was 91 degrees that day. Mm-hmm. It turned out to be a little cooler. I think it topped out at 89.
It felt good in the shade, though.
It wasn't terrible.
Yeah.
And we had a lot of fun. My mom came up with us and hung out with Maddie, and we just had a blast going to different places. They had one area that had gluten-free lunch for us, which was amazing.
Yeah.
And then picked up some gluten-free treats, ate some up there. It was a fun day.
It was delicious. I mean, again, the apple crisp and just...
It's wild. We brought some home. It's in the freezer right now, and I cannot wait to bake it when it at least dips below 90.
Yeah.
I think is when we're going to make it.
Well, this coming week, it's supposedly supposed to be in the 80s.
Whoa.
So
85.
I'll take it.
Yeah, we'll take it.
And then also we went to another local kind of like pop-up pumpkin patch, I guess you could say.
Kind of. It's year-round. It's a store that's run by a nonprofit, and all the proceeds go to supporting, what is it? They call it aged-out foster kids. So foster program, right? You age out. I don't know what the exact age. I'm assuming it's 18.
Yes.
You age out of the program, and unfortunately, these kids don't. It's not like they magically, are on their feet at 18 years old. That's just not how it works. But unfortunately, the program ends at whatever the state-funded thing. So this organization helps support them after that stage. And
I think
so
it helps them get like jobs and everything.
Yeah, it employs them there.
Which is
so
awesome.
A lot of kids are working it. Really, really neat. So we love going there and buying stuff as much as possible. Caitlin bought these very expensive. They're very nice, but...
I like how you say Caitlin. It was your idea.
Okay, well, I'm not going to lie. So we bought these two. They're called Geometry.
Yeah.
Geometry towels. We may be late on this trend, but they're like really fun designs. They feel different than a normal towel. I think they're made with like 100% recycled something.
Like water bottles, but they feel like almost like microfiber.
Yeah, they feel very cool and they look very neat, but they're like $20 a pop. And I maybe didn't look at the price tag before we went up. And so when they rung us out, I was like, 40 something bucks.
So I think that normally they're not that expensive. I think they were just because it's more of a boutique place.
Okay.
We paid a little more. But
That's
again,
okay.
I'm happy that it's going
to a good place.
A good
but
cause.
Holy smokes, $40 for two towels is pretty steep, but they're very fun. So
They're
Caitlin
so
bought
cute.
2 Halloween themed ones, and then we went out in the back and they have a giant, Caitlin said pop-up. It does not feel like a pop-up one.
It was huge.
It was huge. Huge pumpkin patch. So Caitlin and Maddie picked out a few pumpkins.
Yes.
We placed them out front. and we are now in the pumpkin season. It may be 100 degrees and they may rot because of that,
That's all right.
but at least they're out there.
I feel like they do rot, it adds to the Halloween spooky season.
Yeah, and ants and other bugs eating out of it. So that's what we've been up to. We've been soaking up the Halloween season, even though it doesn't feel like it. We're having fun. I had a week off of work, which it's so nice. Again, we were supposed to be in Disneyland for half of it, and the other half I was just going to be kind of catching up on stuff at home, at the house/home. And yeah, we just kind of got to chill. We did some fun stuff, and I got to spend time with Maddie. It was
great.
A very nice week. So not complaining.
Mm-mm.
Hopefully it cools down soon. Hopefully you are doing well. And you know what? We shouldn't be complaining. I do want to make a note that the folks out in Florida and North Carolina, Tennessee, Georgia, they got hit
Oh my gosh.
so stinking hard with that hurricane. So our thoughts are out to those folks out there. Hopefully the recovery efforts are going well. And it's just really sad. And there's another one. We'll talk about that in one of our news news stories here. But they're getting hit with another storm, which I'm like, come on. What are the odds? I don't know. We don't live over there, so we don't know how that works. But I feel like that's pretty rare.
Yeah.
But I feel for the people of Florida and all those states.
So sad.
All right, let's get into that Disney news. All right, our first news story takes us over to Florida. Unfortunately, there is another storm scheduled to hit the state, I think, on Wednesday.
Yes.
Which is the 9th. So currently it's called Tropical Storm Milton. I think it's going to change into Hurricane Milton in the next day or two. So it is on its way to the central coast, if I'm not mistaken, around Tampa. It's supposed to. I
believe so, yeah.
Yeah. Again, we're not very familiar with how hurricanes were. Of course, like we grew up watching the news and seeing how these things hit, but like we've always lived on the West Coast for the most part. I lived in Florida for like a year when I was a little kid, but I was too young to remember anything. But it's just kind of wild how these things work, and I don't understand. Like sometimes they're like, "Oh yeah, hurricane's hitting," but like I've got family over there, it didn't even touch us, and I'm like, "But it looks like you're gonna get hit." Like it just doesn't make sense to me that only certain parts of the storm really hit. Whatever. So at the end of the day, another hurricane hitting Florida. Walt Disney World is currently blocking theme park reservations for the 9th due to the upcoming storm. Again, has been no official announcement from Disney. They haven't said they're going to be closed. They haven't said if there's going to be limited hours, but I would expect them to make that call probably the day before, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
Just either limiting hours like they usually do, closing early, opening late, or just being closed completely.
Yeah, because right now, like the weather, it's just based off speculation. So they see where it's heading right now, but the storm could change.
Yeah, they could change.
Literally
it could break apart. They basically said there's this like section, this time section thing that it could just break apart.
Okay.
So they think it's going to hit like a category 3, and then there's this little length of time where they're like, it could turn.
Okay.
It could just break apart.
Well, hopefully it just breaks apart.
That's the hope.
Yeah.
So I know they're preparing for it. So again, just heads up, if you had a trip planned out there in the next few days, I think you are probably more than well aware of what's going on, but just something to consider in this hurricane season.
All right, for our final news story, we have some super exciting news over at Disneyland. They have just announced that they are going to be offering discounted kids tickets, once again, which I believe they offered these last year, right?
They did,
okay.
And it was a huge savings for a ton of families. So let's talk about how much money you can save, which is a huge deal. Beginning October 22nd, you can purchase kids tickets. Remember, these are good for ages 3 to 9 for as little as $50 per day.
That's amazing.
It's pretty stinking good. Just keep in mind that it's usually, I think, around double that for a 3-day.
Isn't that insane?
One park per day. Woo. It is wild. I don't even want to think about it. It depresses me thinking that one day we'll have to pay for Maddie. These are good for visits January 7th through March 20th. So you can purchase them as of October 22nd, but you can't go to the parks until January. Again, that's our more dead time. I don't think there's really any dead time anymore at Disneyland. It's just slightly less busy.
Honestly, I think it's a really great time to go.
It is. Best weather.
Yeah,
best weather.
And it's always funny to me that they offer these types of discounts during that time because I'm like, that's when I want to go.
I think it's the chance of rain that people get kind of spooked on. I don't care.
No, just go.
I'd rather be in the rain than 100-degree heat. Mm-hmm. So a great deal if you were thinking about a trip next year, if you already had one planned or maybe in the stages of planning, early stages, definitely hop on this because you can save some money. Also, there's going to be some hotel discounts, 25% off-ish, available for that date range. So you can stack that on to your ticket deal. You can save some money at a Disney hotel.
Spooky.
Spooky and savvy. It's a great excuse to stay on property. So if you're like kind of like, ooh, like $600-700 a night, this can, chop off 25%. That can be tempting.
And in addition to that,
what?
You can get additional savings if you book the trip on Getaway Today.
You can. Getaway Today, if you use code MarketHouse10, you can save some money on your booking. And also, they'll hook you up with some additional savings.
What is that? Tickets, hotel, anything, right?
Anything.
That's awesome.
Save it. Save the money. I'm all for saving money, especially thinking about Maddie's future and all the things we have to pay for.
Okay. She's not even one.
I know, but I'm just planning. It never hurts.
It's good to plan.
Never hurts to plan. All right. It's time for another edition of Name That Tune.
I love when we say that.
It's been a while since we've played this game.
I know.
Way too long. So let's get into it. If you don't know the rules, it's been a little bit. So if you're new to the show, we basically read off the lyrics of a couple of songs, Disney songs. You can't hum it. You can't sing it. You can't do anything like that. I can't afford to pay for the rights for those songs. So what you can do is just read the lyrics off and the other person has to guess what Disney song it is.
Yes, play along at home.
Yeah,
it's
play along. Let us know what you get. Let's start. Caitlin, do you want to start it off?
I will go first. Are you ready?
I think so.
All right, here we go. Good luck will rub off when I shakes hands with you or blow me a kiss, and that's lucky too. And no, I did not slur my words. That's how it's pronounced.
Okay, can you do it one more time?
Good luck will rub off when I shakes hands with you or blow me a kiss, and that's lucky too.
Okay. It has not sparked anything in my brain. I've got no idea. I'm not even going to try.
Okay, I'll give you a hint. It's from Mary Poppins.
Oh, no. Fly Kite? Let's go fly kite.
We've been singing that nonstop.
Really?
No, it's Chim Chimmery.
Oh.
Which, by the way, I thought this was Chim Chimney, the song title. I didn't know it was Chim Chim Shree.
Yikes. Okay. Next song, please.
What? Okay, next one. Are you ready?
Yes.
Okay. But after time has worn away, the shock you come to realize you've seen her kind of eyes watching you from underneath a rock.
These are so hard.
Mm-hmm. But once I tell you, you're going to be like, oh, yeah.
Something about being seen under a rock?
But after time has worn away the shock, you've come to realize you've seen her kind of eyes watching you from underneath a rock. And I kind of gave you a little bit right there.
I don't know, man. I really don't know.
Okay, I'll give you a little more. But after time has worn away the shock, you've come to realize you've seen her kind of eyes watching you from underneath the rock. Come on, you're so close.
I have no idea.
It's Cruella de Vil.
Oh, I don't like that movie, so I've maybe seen that once in my life.
Do you know
is it 101 Dalmatians?
Yeah, your favorite.
Yeah, I've maybe seen it once when I was like 8, and then that was the last time I've seen that movie. So thanks.
Okay, well, that's all right. Good try.
Okay, I think these are a little easier for you, so I'm assuming Caitlin's gonna win this round. Hey, let's get into it. The first one is: I am the one hiding under your bed, teeth ground sharp and eyes glowing red. I am the one hiding under your stairs, fingers like snakes and spiders in my hair.
This is Halloween?
Yes.
We just watched it.
I know. And it's also a Halloween episode, so I tried to theme it.
That's why I did Cruella.
Well, I don't think it's very good. Okay, good job. 1 point there. And the last one is: I will hear their every story, take hold of my own dream, be as strong as the seas are stormy, and proud as an eagle's scream.
The Moana?
No. Give you one more guess. I will hear their every story, take hold of my own dream, be as strong as the seas are stormy, and proud as an eagle's scream. It's a good guess with Moana, but it wasn't it.
Oh, wow. I don't know.
You don't know?
No, the thing that comes into my head doesn't even make sense. It's Atlantis.
Na, 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 na.
Oh, wait. Brave.
Brave.
I love Brave.
Touch the sky.
Touch the sky.
I love that song.
It's really,
I know
watched that in forever.
It's not your favorite movie.
Mm-mm.
I like it a lot.
It's a fun movie. It's just not my favorite.
I get that. I know. But it's a really good story. I don't know. It's a really good movie. I think it's underrated. But anyways, love the song.
Thank you.
And that was it. So Hopefully you got a better score than me. I got a measly 0. Caitlin got 1 correct. So if you got 1, you tied us. So good job. All right, that brings us to our main segment of this week's episode, and that is Scariest Disneyland Rides. Spooky. We've been reading Maddie 8, or Caitlin has bought, I don't even know how many. You can fill a library with how many Halloween books we purchased. I love that Maddie likes to read. My problem is we bought her a ton of seasonal books. These are all getting put away on
Why is it
November
a problem?
1st.
She's going to be a child for years to come. She's going to be able to read them.
I don't know if she'll be reading the crinkle or
we
tiny.
Didn't buy her any
I know
crinkle
books, but the little board books for very long though. I feel like we're just, we need to build her actual library up, not her seasonal library.
Okay, well, we're having fun with the seasons over here. And the next one is going to be Christmas. So all frosty and oh my goodness.
That I can get behind.
Okay.
It's a more wholesome holiday.
You're so weird.
Sorry. Anyways, we've been getting into the Halloween spirit, so let's talk about some Halloween goodness over at Disneyland and California Adventure. The scariest rides.
There's some spooky ones.
There are some spooky ones. The definition of scary can be different depending on who you talk to, so we're going to kind of set the record straight here. We're going to list rides that have a creepy/spooky aspect to it, not just scary because there's a loop or something. So
thrill,
yes, Incredicoaster is a thrilling ride. There's a loop in it. It can be scary, but I'm not talking that kind of scary. We're talking it is intentionally spooky, intentionally scary,
right?
Halloween style.
Mm-hmm.
So let's go through here. There's not many. Gotta admit, there's not many that have that kind of spookiness to it.
Right.
But we can talk about it.
Okay.
The very few that there are.
Let's do it.
So let's dive in here. Let's start from least scary to scariest.
Okay.
Bottom up. I listed this one. Caitlin has a problem with it. So let's chat about it. Let's have a discussion.
Okay.
A debate.
A problem?
You had a problem with it. We almost didn't record today because you had that big of a problem.
No.
I'm just kidding. No, Pinocchio's Daring Journey.
Yeah.
I list this because it's legit very scary for children.
So it's scary for children, but I wouldn't say this ride is spooky. Oh my gosh, you have to ride this during Halloween.
Think of the concept. A mean man taking a child to make him perform for, that is a very scary concept.
Yeah, when you think about it that way,
but that's what the story is.
I know, but I don't think about that when I'm at Disneyland.
That's not my problem. You don't think about it. That's the story.
Okay. Well, I guess you could say that for any Disney movie. There's a weird, I don't know. What am I mean? That's another podcast episode.
Okay. I'm confused.
I guess, yeah. I would say the one thing that always, I'm kind of oh, geesh, is when they do, I don't like saying that, taking the.
Okay, when they take, yes.
But when you're in the carnival scene, there's these chain sounds and they're putting you in a box.
I know.
It's pretty, okay, I have to admit.
Yes.
It's pretty spooky.
It's pretty spooky.
We will not ride that with Matt. I don't know.
Okay.
It's just a spooky ride. And is it Stromboli?
Yeah. Oh, so that's what I'm saying. It is a very scary ride. I think it deserves to be on the list. So
okay, I agree.
Okay, let's move on to the next one. This one may confuse some folks. Grizzly River Run.
This is one of the first ones that I recommended.
So it's not only thrilling. So some people are going to be no, it's just thrilling. No, this is the argument we're making, is that when you're specifically when you ride it at night.
Yes.
So you're getting sloshed around, there's water hitting you. It legit feels like a whitewater rafting experience.
Yes.
And you go into this dark cave. It's very dimly lit, and they've got this very scary grizzly sound going on. It sounds like you're getting chased by a grizzly bear.
Yeah.
It's pretty freaky when you've been on it only a couple of times and you're like, holy smokes, what's about to happen?
Yes, because normally we would ride the ride during the day. I remember a couple of years ago was the first time that we went on it at night, and it's spooky in that one tunnel.
Yeah.
You literally, I know you said it's dimly lit. You literally can't see anything in there. All you hear, like Kayla mentioned, is the bear or the grizzly, and you just hear the water sloshing around everywhere. It's pretty creepy.
It's creepy. Yeah, and it feels like, I know it's a Disney ride. It's not going to tip over. It feels like it can.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of in your head. You've got that sound. People are screaming. You're about to drop. It's fun.
And it's one of those things too, where of course it's not like that jump scare feeling where oh, I'm spooked, but it's one of those you're okay, I know I'm obviously going to get out of here, but I'm I can't see where I'm going. I don't know. I don't know. There could be they're obviously not, but I'm there could be a grizzly bear in there.
I think they'd have a couple lawsuits on their hands if they had a live grizzly.
It's like the brother bear. He's just sitting in the corner. That's not scary.
Yeah. So we think this ride's scary. Let us know if you agree or disagree at home.
Yeah, let us know if you've been on it at night. I feel like it's the best time to ride it is at night.
I like it because if you get wet, you just go to your hotel and change.
It's way more fun.
It's the end of the night, right? Into the daytime, you've got to dry off I don't know.
Yeah. Next time you guys are there, please just ride at night. Let us know because it's definitely worth your time.
I agree. Let's move on. The third one on our list is Indiana Jones.
Yes. So this was another one that I mentioned because when I was younger, this was like literally, not only is it my favorite ride, as you've all heard 3,000 times, but it was one of those things where it always scared me when I was little to go through that one tunnel where they're throwing the spears.
Well, because it feels like when you're a kid,
Right?
it feels like you feel the air and it feels like you're getting spears, shot at you.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
so
scary.
scary.
You've got that. You've got skeletons popping out. You've got a snake that comes and almost, bites you. You've got this big skeleton flame thing going on. I mean, you start the ride off by looking into this idol's face.
Yeah.
And he's, gets mad at you and lightning. It's pretty flippin' scary.
And then you're going down and you see that projection of like that. It's like
spirit ghoul thing.
Yeah. And then you go into the tunnels. It's a really well done ride. But again, for someone who hasn't been on it and doesn't know like the plot, it's pretty spooky.
It's scary. And then again, the turns and twists and stuff, you don't know where you're going. You're disoriented. And then you've got skeletons being thrown at you. And then at one point, I think they've changed that scene. We've not been on it in a while.
No, we haven't been on it since they redid it.
Yeah. So Maddie, last time we went, Maddie was born. So we couldn't go on it because we had a child.
Well, we tried. Remember, your mom was going to watch her, and then it was
the one time
I was like, finally, let's do it. Yeah.
So sorry, a lot of reasons why we couldn't go on it. But the scene where the projection comes up, it's a projection clearly, but it looks like a bunch of rats are going around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just in that random dark tunnel. That's not there anymore.
Yeah, they changed it.
Yes. And I heard from family that it's really cool.
Cool.
So.
All right. So that's our argument for Indy. I think you'd agree. It's a scary ride. The queue, one of the best in the biz, but also pretty spooky.
Yeah.
You're in like a bat cave.
I feel like, which again, going down memory lane, do you remember when you're in the queue? Talk about scary. Remember when it would move? The ceiling would come down on you like it was going to collapse?
They took that out, or it just broke and they never fixed it, is probably the likely explanation. But when you were in the line, I'm trying to figure out how to explain it, but like it very much looks like a crumbling room.
Yeah, it's basically the room where the ceiling, remember in the movies where like the ceiling comes down and it squishes whoever's in there? It's basically that where you're like you're trying not to step on the diamond or the eyes.
So they, recreated that. Looked amazing. When I was a kid, it was on. It was the what do you call it? The effect was very good. Very, very good. But again, I think it might have broken and they're just like, it's not worth fixing. There was a rumor that it was like, it scared too many people.
That's what I heard.
They legit thought, I don't think that's true. But maybe it might be.
I hope they bring it back.
Yeah.
I mean, just put a big sign that says, don't be scared. It's fake.
Put a sign and say, don't be scared. That's your problem, people. Don't be scared. All right, let's move on to the number, whatever it is.
Number
it's
two.
the top two.
Mm-hmm.
Top second spot.
Mm-hmm.
Haunted Mansion.
I feel like this is a classic.
Classic.
And again, yes, obviously this isn't like a horror movie or anything, but it's one of those things where it's just classic spooky Jack Skellington. There's so much fun in there. And just the classic elevator scene when you like the lights go out and like the glass breaks. It's awesome. And you can't beat the hallway with all the pictures changing and the la 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 la.
Oh, we're talking about the holiday version.
Yes,
okay.
The holiday version. Well, I was going to get into like the OG. But then you have the OG and it's a totally different just realm of like, if you have never been on that ride and you go on it, you're just like, this is the attic scene. That was so spooky to me when I was younger.
Yeah.
And like Constance, and I remember the one thing that always got me was the guy in the back that's playing the piano. That was just so scary to me. I remember being like, oh my gosh. And now they've incorporated the hat box and just like the little things. It's great.
Madame Leota, she's pretty spooky. Bunch of floating things. I love that the storyline, it's complex enough and maybe over the children's heads enough to where adults can appreciate it, right? A bunch of this lady's husband's all, coming to a unfortunate end.
Yeah.
And kids can't catch that in the ride, so that's cool, right? That they're not like, oh, this is disturbing.
Yeah.
But adults can appreciate it. And then when you get old enough, you go, oh, I see what they've been doing.
Yeah.
That Constance.
And remember like the clock that goes to like 13.
Yes.
And like the hand going over. And then again, you're going down the hallway and like the doors are stretching open and like moving. It's just in the pictures.
Scary. It's a good one. The wallpaper,
good.
all of it. Very scary. Very well done. Again, as a child, it's much scarier. When you get older, you can kind of see the tricks and stuff, but you can appreciate them as an adult. How they came to do it, Pepper's ghost, all that good stuff. So it's a fun ride. It's a classic. My favorite. With Alice in Wonderland. They switch spots depending on what they ask
me. Not very spooky, but
That Cheshire Cat is a spooky cat. All right, number 1 on our list is, drumroll please.
Guardians. Oh, I thought we were reading it together. Let's read it.
Guardians of the Galaxy. Monsters After Dark.
It's so good.
It is so stinking good.
And I don't want to hear anyone go, "That's not scary." Literally, it's so good.
It's terrifying. The screamo music that's happening just kind of puts you on edge. And the monsters that are chasing you, everything about it just has you kind of like amped up and like, like the heart rate's a little higher.
And again, spoiler, if you have not been on this ride, at the very end, that loud, like just bang noise that scares you to death.
It's very scary. Sounds like a monster is smacking the top of the elevator ride. It is very scary.
So good. We look forward to that. We were so bummed that we weren't able to go on that this year, but it is such a good ride. And again, like we've said, that doesn't start until 3 p.m. when you go on it.
Yeah, I've heard it's inconsistent, that it can be
really?
3 o'clock. It could be 5 o'clock.
Oh, wow.
I've heard that. I don't know if that's true.
Okay.
But last time you went, it was consistently 3 o'clock on the dot. It switched over to Monsters After Dark.
Perfect.
Which is not very dark, but that's okay.
Yeah. It's so true.
4 o'clock sounds still
I
out.
wonder why 3 o'clock.
I don't know.
How random.
Maybe it's when the kids got to school. You got to switch it over.
Okay.
I don't know. All right. And lastly, I did want to do an honorable mention. Again, I'm making the same argument. Caitlin maybe not, is not agreeing with me. Mr. Toad's Wild Ride. First off, you get hit by a train. And second, you wake up in a not so nice place with little demon men and things.
Little demon men? It's...
So it's hinting at what you're at. And it's a little spooky. It's really hot in that room. And that's intentionally scary. I think it deserves to be on the list.
I think the ride is so bizarre to me that it almost takes away the spooky aspect of it. Because I'm just, every time I get on it, I'm like, what just happened? Like, I just don't get it.
That's okay.
Like, the train part is scary. I remember the first time we went on that because I went on that for the first time with you. Like,
really?
I never went on that as a child. I remember being like, that train scene, like, that's scary.
Yeah, and it feels like you're on the dock first off. And then, that train's coming at you, and it looks like you're getting hit by a train.
Yeah.
It's very, very off-putting. So I think it's deservedly put on the list. I think it should be on the list officially, but I put it as an honorable mention because of your arguments against it.
I do have one to add, if you don't mind.
Okay.
And it's not a attraction that's currently working or moving, but it's the old, like, mine ride next to Big Thunder. How you can just see it like across.
Oh, okay. So Big Thunder replaced this ride.
Yeah.
It was the oh my gosh.
It was not a spooky ride. It was actually a fun ride.
No, you were like a covered wagon.
Yeah.
Oh, what was it called?
But just seeing it across the way, like all board, it looks so creepy.
Yeah.
No?
I'm not putting it on there.
Oh, okay.
I'm just kidding. That's what it doesn't feel good, does it?
We'll just keep it as Mr. Toads.
Thank you so much for joining us this week. I'm confused and scared and tired. I need some coffee in my life. That's the end of the list. Thank you so much for listening. You can find us over on Instagram and Threads at Market House Podcast. Make sure to follow us over there for pictures from the park and exciting news and announcements. Consider leaving a review on Apple Podcasts and Spotify, both a huge, huge help to the show. We will read your review off if you take the time to put one. We'll read it and give you a big shout out on the show. We also have a Patreon, markethousepodcast.com/support. You can join us over there for some exclusive content and some fun stuff. We got some fun stuff going on over there. And thank you to everyone who supports the show on Patreon. Remember to use our Getaway Today link for your future trip bookings. Check out the episode details for that link and use code MarketHouse10 to save an additional $10 off your booking. Join us next week for another episode. It's been fun, it's been grand, it's been spooky and filled with ghosts and demons. Bye!
Bye!